The first sign wasn't obvious. It didn't announce itself as danger. It didn't feel like surveillance. It didn't even feel new. It felt like something had shifted half a degree, just enough to make everything slightly off, without giving her anything she could point to. Maya noticed it anyway. She always did. Morning traffic moved through the street outside the cafe in slow, steady intervals. Nothing unusual. No sudden stops. No lingering vehicles. No visible tension. But the rhythm wasn't quite right, not broken, adjusted. Maya sat near the window, a cup of coffee cooling slowly in her hand, her attention moving across the street without settling on any one point for too long. She didn't look for watchers, she looked for patterns. And patterns were starting to hold a little too tightly. Maya shifted her focus slightly, not changing where she looked, but how she processed. What she was seeing. It wasn't about identifying individuals, it was about identifying constraints. The difference mattered. People made mistakes. Structures didn't, not unless something forced them to. She watched the timing between movements instead of the movements themselves, the space between decisions, the moment where something could have changed direction, but didn't. That was where intent lived. And right now, intent wasn't scattered. It was coordinated, not tightly enough to trigger alarm, but precisely enough to avoid randomness. That was what made it visible. The man across the street had checked his watch 3 times in under a minute. Not anxious, not impatient, practiced. 2 pedestrians passed each other without making eye contact. Normal, but both slowed slightly at the same moment, then corrected. A car idled longer than necessary at the corner, then moved just before it became noticeable. None of it was enough on its own. Together, it formed a shape. "They're good," Maya said quietly. Across from her, Sam didn't look up from her coffee. "Define good." "They're not watching me directly." "That sounds like a compliment." "It isn't." Sam took a slow sip, then set her cup down. "You sure this isn't just you coming down from last night?" Maya shook her head slightly. "No, this isn't residual." Sam leaned back, studying her now. "So what is it?" Maya didn't answer immediately. She let the silence stretch, not because she didn't know, but because she was organizing it. "They adjusted," she said finally. "Not their presence, their behavior." Sam's expression shifted just slightly. "That's different." "Yes." "You think it's them?" Maya didn't need to ask who them was. "Yes." Sam exhaled slowly, then glanced toward the window without turning her head fully. "I don't see anything." "You're not supposed to." "That's not comforting." "It's not meant to be." A brief pause settled between them. Not tension, familiarity. Sam reached for the small plate between them, breaking a pastry in half and sliding one piece toward Maya. "You're not eating," she said. "I will." "You say that every time." Maya allowed a faint shift in expression, something just short of a smile. "That doesn't make it untrue." Sam rolled her eyes slightly. "You've been saying that since we were in Iraq." "That was different." "You said that then, too." Maya picked up the piece of pastry, turning it once in her hand before taking a small bite. Sam watched her for a second, then leaned back slightly, tapping the edge of her cup with her thumb. "You ever notice," she said, "how the quiet moments are the ones that feel the most off when something's wrong?" Maya glanced at her. "Because they're supposed to feel neutral," Sam continued. "Background noise, nothing you remember." "And when they don't?" Maya asked. Sam shrugged faintly. Then you start paying attention to things you normally wouldn't. Maya nodded once. That's when it stops being background, she said, and starts being structure. Sam let out a quiet breath. I liked it better when things were just bad decisions and bad timing. Maya's expression softened just slightly. That was never what it was, she said. Sam gave her a look. Yeah, I know. I just miss thinking it was. You remember that place near Dupont? Sam said. Maya glanced up. The one with the terrible coffee? The coffee wasn't terrible. It was aggressively average. Sam smirked. You're impossible. You went there 3 times a week. That was for the bagels. They were also average. They were consistent. That's not the same thing. Sam laughed quietly, shaking her head. For someone who pays this much attention to detail, you're very selective about what matters. Maya took another bite, then set the pastry down. Consistency matters, she said, just not when it's mistaken for quality. Sam nodded once, letting that sit. Then, you think this is going to escalate? Maya didn't answer right away. She looked back toward the street. The car at the corner had changed. Different vehicle, same position. Yes, she said. How fast? Not fast. Sam frowned slightly. That's worse. Yes. Sam leaned forward, lowering her voice. So, what's the move? Maya's eyes stayed on the window. For now? Nothing. That doesn't sound like you. It is, Maya said calmly. You just don't see it that way. Sam watched her for a moment, then nodded. All right, she said. We do nothing. Maya shook her head slightly. No, we just don't react. There's a distinction. It matters. Sam sat back again, folding her arms loosely. You know what I think? Maya didn't look at her. Yes. I think you walked into a room that doesn't like being seen. That's accurate. And now it's trying to figure out what to do with you. Yes. I still think we should have left Arizona this morning. Another pause, this one heavier. Sam tilted her head slightly. And Adrian? Maya's focus didn't shift. What about him? Sam gave her a knowing look. You're really going to do that again? Maya finally glanced at her. I don't have enough information to answer that question. That's not what I asked. No, Maya said, it isn't. Sam held her gaze for a second longer, then exhaled. All right, she said quietly. We'll come back to that. Outside, the street continued moving. Nothing obvious, nothing aggressive, nothing that would draw attention, and yet everything felt slightly more aligned than it should have been. Maya set her cup down. We should leave, she said. Sam raised an eyebrow. Because of something specific? No. Because of everything? Yes. They stood at the same time, not rushed, not hesitant, controlled. As they stepped out onto the sidewalk, the air felt warmer than it had a moment before. Or maybe it just felt less contained. Maya didn't check behind her. She didn't need to. They walked half a block in silence before Sam spoke again. You ever get the feeling, she said, that something started moving before you knew you were part of it? Maya didn't slow her pace. Yes. Sam glanced sideways. That's where we are? That's what I'm seeing. They turned the corner. The street opened slightly, wider, less structured, fewer people, more space, less cover. Maya adjusted her pace by half a step, not enough to be obvious. Enough to change timing. A man exiting a nearby building hesitated for just a fraction too long before continuing forward, not looking at them, not reacting, but not quite neutral. Sam noticed it too. "I saw that," she said under her breath. "I know." They kept walking, no reaction, no acknowledgement. "Still doing nothing?" Sam asked. "For now." Sam nodded once. "All right." Another block, another intersection. The pattern held, not tighter, not looser, just consistent. "That's the part I don't like," Sam said quietly. Maya glanced at her. "It's not adjusting anymore," Sam continued. "It's already set." "Yes, that means they're not reacting to us." "Exactly. They're operating around us. It lines up." Sam exhaled slowly. "That's worse." "Yes, it is." They reached the end of the block. Maya stopped. Not abruptly, just enough. Sam turned slightly. "What?" Maya's eyes moved once across the street, then back. "There," she said quietly. Sam followed her line of sight. A man leaning against a parked car, phone in hand, not looking at them, but not looking either. Sam shifted her weight. "You want to test it?" "No." "Why not?" "Because I already know the answer." A beat. "And," Sam pressed, Maya's voice stayed level, "they're not tracking movement." "What are they tracking?" Maya looked at her. "Position." Sam frowned. "That doesn't make sense." "It does if they're not trying to follow us," Maya said. "They're trying to contain us." Silence. Sam glanced back toward the man briefly, then forward again. "All right," she said. "I officially don't like this anymore." Maya didn't respond. They started walking again. Same pace, same rhythm. Behind them, nothing followed. That was the problem. They didn't double back. They didn't change direction abruptly. They didn't test the perimeter. Maya kept the same pace for another block, then another, letting the pattern hold without interference. If someone was watching, she wasn't going to give them anything to respond to. If someone was managing the space, she wasn't going to disrupt it yet. Sam stayed half a step behind her, not out of caution, but out of familiarity. She knew when Maya was thinking. This was one of those times. "You're mapping it," Sam said quietly. Maya nodded once. "Not the people, the structure." Sam glanced around again, this time slower. "Feels like it's already built," she said. "It is. And we're just inside it." "Yes." They crossed into a quieter street. Fewer people. Less movement, more visibility. Maya slowed slightly as they approached a small cafe on the corner, not the one they had just left. Different layout, different entry point, more open. Sam noticed the shift. "Are we stopping?" Maya looked through the glass briefly. "Not yet." "Then why slow down?" Maya didn't answer right away. She didn't need to. Inside, near the far end of the counter, a familiar figure stood angled slightly away from the window, not facing them, not avoiding them, positioned. Sam followed her line of sight. "That's not subtle," she said under her breath. "No," Maya said. "It isn't." Adrian didn't turn immediately. He finished speaking to the barista, took the cup that was handed to him, then stepped aside. Only then did he look toward the window. Toward them, the recognition was immediate, but not surprised. Sam let out a quiet breath. "That feels intentional." "Yes, it does." "You think he planned it?" Maya didn't answer. Adrian stepped outside, not quickly, not hesitantly, measured. He stopped a few feet from them, close enough for conversation, far enough not to impose it. "This is either a coincidence," Sam said quietly, or accidentally on purpose. Maya's eyes stayed on Adrian. It's neither. Adrian spoke first. But I was hoping I'd run into you. Maya tilted her head slightly. That's an interesting phrasing. He didn't react to that. It seemed efficient, he said. For what? For a conversation that was going to happen anyway. Sam looked between them, then took a step back. I'm going to get another coffee, she said. Apparently that's what we're doing now. Maya didn't stop her. Sam moved past Adrian without acknowledgement and stepped into the cafe, leaving Maya and Adrian alone, not isolated, but separate. Adrian glanced once toward the street, then back to Maya. You noticed it. It wasn't a question. Yes. How much? Enough. A brief pause. That's faster than I expected, he said. Maya watched him carefully. You expected it. Yes. Another pause. Not uncomfortable. Measured. Adrian shifted his stance slightly, not stepping closer, but adjusting in a way that suggested he was measuring more than just distance. You're ahead of the curve, he said. Maya's expression didn't change. That depends on where the curve is. A faint pause. Most people don't notice the adjustment until it becomes visible, Adrian continued. By then, it's already defined. Maya studied him more closely now. And you? She asked. Where do you fall in that timing? Adrian's gaze held hers. Close enough to see it forming, he said, not far enough to control it. That answer lingered, not evasive, but not complete. Maya let it sit for a moment before responding. That's not a neutral position, she said. Adrian allowed the faintest shift in expression. No, he said. It isn't. You chose a public place, Maya said. Yes, that suggests you're not here to control the outcome. That doesn't apply here. Then why are you here? Adrian shifted slightly, adjusting his grip on the cup in his hand. Not nervous, thinking. Because the room has already made its first adjustment, he said, and I wanted to see how you would respond to it. Maya didn't move. You're observing me, she said. Yes. That puts you on their side. No, Adrian said calmly. It puts me between positions. Maya studied him. That's not a stable place to stand. No, he agreed. It isn't. A car passed behind them, slow, deliberate, gone. You planned this, Maya said. Adrian didn't deny it. Yes. Why here? Because it's open enough to prevent escalation, he said, and structured enough to maintain control if needed. Maya's expression didn't change. Whose control? Adrian held her gaze. Yours, he said. That landed. Not heavily, but clearly. Maya considered that for a moment. Then, you're not here to warn me, she said. That's not what this is. You're not here to stop me. No. Then what are you doing? Adrian's attention shifted briefly past her, toward the corner they had just come from, then back again. I'm adjusting timing, he said. Maya's eyes narrowed slightly. Of what? Everything. That answer didn't clarify anything, but it wasn't meant to. Sam stepped back outside, holding a fresh cup. She slowed slightly as she rejoined them, her eyes moving between Maya and Adrian. Did I miss anything important? She asked. Yes, Maya said. No, Adrian said. Sam looked at both of them. Great, she said. That's helpful. She took a sip of her coffee, then leaned slightly toward Maya. Are we leaving, or are we standing here until someone makes a move? Maya didn't answer immediately. She was watching Adrian again. Not his posture, not his expression, his timing. "You should keep moving," Adrian said quietly. Sam let out a short laugh. "That sounds like advice." "It is." "From which side?" Sam asked. Adrian didn't look at her. "That depends on how you interpret it." Maya stepped forward, past him, not waiting for another answer. Sam followed without hesitation. They didn't look back, but they didn't need to. After half a block, Sam spoke. "All right," she said quietly. "I don't like him being right about anything." Maya didn't respond. "You trust him?" Sam asked. "Not entirely." That was fast. "It's accurate." Sam nodded once. "Good, just checking." They crossed another intersection. The pattern had changed, not gone. Changed. "What just happened?" Sam asked. Maya's eyes moved across the street again. "They shifted." "Because of him?" "It fits." Sam frowned. "So he's not outside of it?" "No." "Then what is he?" Maya's answer came without hesitation. "A variable." Sam exhaled slowly. "I liked it better when this was just complicated." They turned onto a narrower street. Less traffic, fewer people, more controlled. Maya slowed again, just slightly. Sam noticed. "You see something?" "Yes." Ahead of them, near the corner, two individuals stood on opposite sides of the street, not interacting, not acknowledging each other, but aligned. Sam's voice dropped. "That's new." "It's new, but it also fits." They kept walking, no hesitation, no deviation. One of the individuals checked their phone, the other shifted position. Neither looked directly at them. "They're closing space," Sam said quietly. "Yes, they are." "Still not tracking?" "No, that's not what this is." "Then what are they doing?" Maya's voice stayed even. "They're defining limits." Sam let out a quiet breath. "That's worse." "Exactly." They reached the corner. Maya didn't slow, didn't stop, didn't acknowledge either presence. They passed between them. No one moved, no one spoke. But the space behind them felt different, more contained. Sam glanced back this time, just once, then forward again. "Okay," she said, "that was not subtle." "No." They continued another block before Maya spoke again. "They're not trying to stop us." Sam looked at her. "That's reassuring." "They're trying to define where we can go." "That's not reassuring." Maya allowed a faint shift in expression. "No," she said, "it isn't." They slowed near the next intersection. Sam took another sip of her coffee, then shook her head slightly. "You know what this feels like?" she said. Maya glanced at her. "Let the structure reveal itself just a little more. Then—" "We don't push yet," she said. Sam nodded slowly. "And when we do?" Maya's voice stayed calm. "Then we don't push where they expect." Sam gave a faint, almost amused exhale. "All right," she said. "I can work with that." They stepped into the intersection. Traffic moved normally. People passed without hesitation, nothing obvious. And yet, the space still held. Maya felt it clearly now. Not just observation, not just interest, containment, not complete, not closed, but forming. She didn't resist it. Not yet. Because the moment she did, it would stop being quiet. And once it stopped being quiet, everything would change. They didn't turn back. They didn't test the edge again. Maya kept her pace steady as they crossed the intersection, letting the movement of the city fold back around them. Traffic resumed its normal rhythm. Conversations passed without interruption. Nothing called attention to itself, and that was the problem. The structure was holding, not tightening, not loosening, holding. Sam walked beside her, quiet now in a way that meant she wasn't just reacting, she was processing. After half a block, she spoke. "Okay," she said, "I'm going to say something and you tell me if I'm wrong." Maya glanced at her briefly. "Go ahead." Sam adjusted her grip on the empty cup, then tossed it into a bin as they passed. "This doesn't feel like surveillance anymore," she said. "It feels like positioning." Maya nodded once. "It is." Sam exhaled. "Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't say that." They moved on to a wider street. More people, more motion, less obvious control, but it was still there. Maya slowed just slightly, not enough to draw attention, just enough to let the space reveal itself. Her eyes moved once across the storefront reflections, then again, then stopped. "Don't look directly," she said quietly. Sam didn't. "I'm not," she said. Third reflection, left side. Sam let her gaze drift naturally along the glass without fixing on any one point. "I see it," she said after a beat. A figure behind them, not close, not following, but maintaining distance with precision. Sam's voice stayed low. "That one's different." "Yes." "How?" Maya's eyes moved forward again. "He's not part of the pattern." Sam frowned slightly. "That doesn't make sense." "It does if the pattern is already set," Maya said. "Anything outside of it stands out." Sam processed that for a second. "So he's not containment?" "No." "Then what is he?" Maya didn't answer immediately. She let the figure hold in the reflection, watched how he moved, or rather, how he didn't. "Test," Maya said quietly. She adjusted her pace by half a step, not enough to be obvious, enough to shift timing. The figure didn't correct, didn't match, didn't react. Sam's voice dropped even further. "He didn't move." "No." Maya slowed slightly more, then resumed. Still, no adjustment. Sam's jaw tightened. "That's not good." "No," Maya said. "It isn't." They reached the end of the block. Maya stopped, this time deliberately. Sam turned toward her. "You're sure?" "Yes." The figure behind them stopped too, not abruptly, not reactively, just aligned. Sam let out a quiet breath. "Okay. I don't like this at all." Maya turned halfway. Not enough to fully face him, just enough to bring him into direct peripheral view. He didn't look at her, didn't acknowledge her, but his posture shifted. Subtle, controlled, prepared. That was enough. "Go," Maya said. She didn't wait. She turned, moving forward again. Faster now, not running, but breaking the established rhythm. Sam followed instantly. Behind them, movement, not pursuit, not urgency, adjustment. They crossed into the next street. The pattern broke, not completely, but enough. Sam glanced sideways. "They're not holding position anymore." "No," Maya said. "They're adapting." That means they weren't expecting interference. Sam's expression sharpened. "So we just made ourselves visible." "Yes." They moved another block before slowing again. The figure was gone. So were the others. The space opened, too quickly. Sam looked around once, then again. "They pulled back," she said. "Yes." "That doesn't feel like a win." "It isn't." Maya stopped near the corner. This time, fully. She turned, not to look for the figure, not to confirm anything, to think. Sam watched her. "You're ahead of something," she said quietly. Maya didn't answer right away. She replayed it, the pattern, the structure, the break, the response. "They weren't containing us," she said finally. Sam blinked. "What?" "They were measuring the space around us." Sam frowned. "That's not better." "No." Maya's gaze moved across the street again. "They wanted to see how far the pattern could hold before it broke, and we broke it." "Yes." Sam crossed her arms slightly. "So now what?" Maya's voice stayed calm. "Now they know where the edges are." A beat. "And," Sam pressed. Maya looked at her. "Now they build around them." Sam let that sit. Then, "Okay," she said slowly. "That's worse." Maya didn't disagree. A car passed between them and the opposite sidewalk. When it cleared, someone was standing there, still, composed. "Adrian." Sam let out a quiet breath. "He really needs to stop doing that." Maya didn't move. Adrian didn't approach immediately this time. He stayed where he was, across the street, watching, not the space, her. After a moment he crossed, not quickly, not cautiously, deliberately. He stopped a few feet away, same distance as before. "You pushed it," he said. Maya's expression didn't change. "You knew I would." "Yes." A pause. Sam looked between them. "I feel like I missed a meeting." Neither of them responded to that. "You weren't supposed to test the edge yet," Adrian said. Maya's eyes stayed on him. "That wasn't the edge." "No," he said. "It wasn't. That landed. Same distance as before." "You pushed it," he said. Maya's expression didn't change. "You knew I would." "Yes." A pause. Sam looked between them. "I feel like I missed a meeting." Neither of them responded to that. "You weren't supposed to test the edge yet," Adrian said. Maya's eyes stayed on him. "That wasn't the edge." "No," he said. "It wasn't. That landed." Sam shifted slightly. "Okay, I'm going to need someone to start explaining things in complete sentences." Adrian didn't look at her. "They adjusted faster than expected," he said. Maya held his gaze. "Because they weren't reacting." "No," Adrian said quietly. "They were preparing." Silence. Sam exhaled slowly. "All right. I officially don't like any of this." Maya didn't look away from Adrian. "They're not trying to stop movement," she said. "They're defining parameters." "Yes." "And anything outside of that becomes identifiable," Adrian finished. Another pause. Maya's voice lowered slightly. "The one behind us wasn't part of the system." "No," Adrian said. "Then what was he?" Adrian hesitated. Not long, but enough. "Confirmation," he said. That word settled differently. Sam frowned. "Confirmation of what?" Adrian's eyes stayed on Maya. "Of how you move," he said. Silence. Maya processed that. Then, "They weren't watching for behavior," she said. "They were watching for disruption." "Yes." Sam shook her head slightly. "That feels like a technical difference that somehow makes this worse." "It is," Maya said. Adrian stepped back half a pace, not retreating, creating space. "You should slow down," he said. Maya's expression didn't change. "Why?" "Because the next adjustment won't be observational." That was new. Sam's voice dropped. "Define not observational." Adrian looked at her for the first time. Engagement. Silence. Maya held his gaze. Then we're already past containment. Adrian didn't answer immediately. Then, yes, he said. The air shifted, not visibly, but undeniably. Sam let out a quiet breath. So, what does that make this? Maya answered, not looking away. Entry. A beat. Sam blinked. Entry into what? Maya didn't hesitate. The system. Adrian didn't correct her. That was the answer. A car passed behind them. People moved around them. Normal, unaware. Everything looked the same. It wasn't. Maya stepped back slightly, not retreating, repositioning. Her voice stayed calm. They're not containing me anymore, she said. Adrian's eyes stayed steady. No. Maya's expression didn't shift. They're placing me. That was it. That was the line. No one argued it. Neither of them needed to, because they each understood what it meant. The city continued around them, uninterrupted. Conversations carried, traffic flowed, nothing fractured. But Maya could feel the difference now, not in what was happening, but in what was no longer available. Space, not physical space, decision space. The invisible margin where movement could exist without being interpreted. That margin was gone, or at least no longer unobserved. And once that happened, there was no stepping back out of it.